Hey guys, how's it going? This is Mike from M&R Automotive. Today we have a Ford Bronco with a standard bumper, but we've installed the 40-inch curved Pro Series light bar. Offers powerful white light as well as amber DRL. Alright guys, this install is super easy, super fast. Let's get started. In order to remove the bottom trim, we do have to detach the fender flare, and we're going to start with the driver's side. There's a lever that's pointing in the down position. All you have to do is just turn it up and then pull on the fender flare, and it'll unclip. We're not going to remove the whole fender flare, we're just going to unclip it here, just so that way we can unclip this panel. Same thing on this side, but on the passenger side, the default position is in the top, and we're going to bring it down. Now we're going to pull on the fender flare and just release it. Now we can actually reach behind here and unclip the bottom trim. And it's pretty easy. You just start in the corners and work your way towards the center. We'll do the same thing on the passenger side. And just like that, we removed it, we're going to set it aside. And that's it. With the trim piece being removed, we have access to the bolts that we're going to use to attach the M&R brackets. Here are the brackets that you get from M&R. You get the driver and the passenger side, and we're going to be reusing the factory bolts by removing it and threading it through this hole. So just to point out, we're going to use the innermost bolt, the one that's recessed in. Good idea to have an extension. We're going to remove the bolt. We're going to thread it through the M&R bracket, and we're going to reinstall it. Awesome. Let's do the same thing on the passenger side. Remove the bolt, thread it through the M&R bracket, and reinstall it. Super easy. Okay, so now with the brackets installed, we can go ahead and reinstall the trim piece. There it is. Trim piece installed, we're going to lock the fender flare using the tab underneath. So now it's in place. Same thing. Lock it in place. Alright, so now we're going to thread the light bar in between the two brackets and use supplied hardware to secure it. There's two bolts on each side, and we're going to tighten it. Super easy install. You guys are going to love it. If you follow the steps, it's hard to make any mistakes. Awesome. Now let's do the wiring. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do with the wire. I'm going to thread it and get it in the engine bay. There's a rubber grommet. I'm going to feed this through it, and I'm going to pull on it from the wheel well. So this hides the wire, and then we're going to fish it up. So there it goes. The wire is hidden. So now we're going to feed this wire up the fender well, so that way we can get in, see an opening. And I'm going to feed through it, and it's probably easier with an assistant, but I've done it by myself before. Let's see if I can get it from the top. So now I'm going to pull it through. So now with the wire being in the engine bay, you definitely have plenty of length to reach the auxiliary wires if your vehicle came standard with them. Because our Bronco is not equipped with auxiliary switches, we're going to use the M&R wireless wiring harness 2.0. This will allow us to connect the light bar to the module and then turn it on and off wirelessly from inside the cab. Let me show you how to assemble it. We have the M&R wireless module, the remote. We have all the stickers for our buttons for the remote. There's a fuse holder, two power wires, one for every side of the fuse. Black ground wire for the module. Two zip ties for mounting. Optional ACC wire. We typically don't use it, but it's available. And some connectors with a fuse. Let's go ahead and take off the cover from the control module. There's 4 Allen screws that we're going to remove, one on each side. So with the cover off, we do have 8 different circuits with 8 different amp ratings, one positive for every circuit. Everything's nicely epoxied, and you do have accessory ports. So we have 2 ports here, 3 trigger wires. We have a positive for the battery, and we have a ground terminal here. I'm going to open the fuse box. I'm going to remove the 8mm nuts, and we're going to install an inline fuse. So I'm going to go ahead and lift up one of the washers. It's a 100 amp inline fuse. Doesn't matter how it goes as long as you put it on the terminals. And let's install the 2 power cables, one on each side. So we're going to do one with a washer and a nut, and then I'll do the second one on the other end. That's one. And then this is going to be the second one. So now we have a power cable with an inline fuse. So this is the positive, BAT positive terminal of the module. I'm going to loosen this terminal I'm going to grab the power wire, feed it from under, and we're going to put it connected to this terminal. Now we can tighten this bolt, and we're going to do the same thing on the ground, which is the BAT minus. So before we connect this to the battery, I do want to point out a couple of cool features of the 2.0 module that the 1.0 does not have. The 2.0 is equipped with trigger wires 1, 2, and 3, and those will be these 3 terminals. If there's any power signal onto these 3 contacts, it's going to turn on automatically designated channels. A common question that we get is how to turn on your light bar together with your high beams. So one way to do it would be to connect your light bar to auxiliary 6 and then run a positive wire from your high beams to trigger wire 1 contact. So now anytime somebody turns on the high beams, channel number 6 is going to turn on automatically. And if you wanted to control auxiliary 7, that would be trigger wire number 2, and channel 8 would be the trigger wire number 3. So this is a optional feature, it's not required. This would be if you're not using your remote and you want something like your high beams or your reverse lighting to control some of these auxiliary channels. In this video, we're not going to be using trigger wires. It's fairly advanced wiring, which we're not going to get into at the moment. So now let's go ahead and connect this module to the battery. So now we're in the engine bay. We're going to provide power and ground to our module. We're going to use one of these terminals. We're going to loosen the bolt. We're going to slide a terminal underneath it, and we're going to retighten it. Loosen the nut, slide the battery terminal, and retighten it. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the ground. When I do connect the ground, you're going to see a blinking or a solid green light here. So I'm going to loosen this. I'm going to slide the terminal under, and there's a solid green light, which means that the module is getting power and is grounded correctly. All right, now we can connect our light bar to it. So let's talk about the light bar wiring. The Pro Series light bar comes with 3 wires. There is a white wire, which is the amber DRL. It's the amber back glow. There's a black wire, which is the ground, and there's a red wire, which is the positive wire for the main function of the light, which is powerful white light. So you're going to need 2 power sources or 2 auxiliary switches to control between the 2 functions of the light bar. So the main white light requires a little bit more amps as opposed to the DRL. So we can use switch number 1 for the powerful white light, and we can dedicate a smaller amp switch for the amber DRL. I'm going to separate the wires to get rid of some of the sheathing, give a little bit more slack. We'll cut this off later. I'm going to connect the red wire, which is the powerful white light. We're going to connect it to the first terminal. So the white wire, which is the amber DRL, we're going to connect it to the 8th terminal. And now we just have a black wire. We just have to ground it. I'm just going to put an eyelet on it, and we're going to ground it as well. Crimp it. And we can actually use the same bolt that we use to ground our module. We're going to slip the eyelet through it, and we're going to reinstall it. The last step is to mount it. There's 2 different ways of mounting the system. There's 2 pre-drilled holes here from the inside of the module. You can attach it to the top of a cover if you drill 2 holes and use the supplied hardware, or you could use the supplied zip ties that go through the ears here, and you can attach it to any type of support. So on this Bronco, with having so many anchor points around the battery, on the battery tray, we can use the zip ties to anchor it here and possibly on this side. So you can either have it mounted on the side or here, or even on the cover of the fuse box. So now that we wired everything up, let me show you how it works. On the controller, we're going to hit the power button until all the lights turn green. Switch number 1 is going to be the powerful white light, and switch number 8 is going to be the amber DRL. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something and got all the confidence that you need to install this product yourself. You guys are going to absolutely love this light bar.